Train proves too tall of a task for Vega Squadron. We're going to 3 in our opening game here for day 4 of the IEM Katowice Major. I'm your host Machine, still joined by Sean Gayers and Sponge to understand exactly why we're going to 3 and where was this NiP on map 1. Vega Squadron disintegrate and a pretty one-sided affair, Sean.
Yeah, it started so well for Vega Squadron. 5-3 on T side. It looked like they had an NiP against the ropes, and then NiP just strung together 7 straight rounds, and there was really no looking back.
I think the positive sign for the Ninjas is all their individuals carried through the performance from the first game. You know, these guys were all dominating. Like in the first game, we had Rez, we had Dennis, and we had Forrest, the top 3 players of that game. Once again, Rez towards the top, Forrest underneath him. So the individual performances are still strong, and that is a positive sign. 10-5 on Train is always a worrying half, right? You lose that pistol, and you find yourself in a bit of trouble. I think the big issue for Vega here is you won the pistol on the T half, and then you weren't able to convert. We already were speaking about how difficult they were having troubles just getting pistols, and when you get one, you got to make sure you're winning those anti-egos.
Yeah, they actually lost 2 force buys this game. That one, as well as the one where Rez got 4 frags, the 2 1-digs. So, I mean, yeah, a couple really tough rounds for Vega. The half could have went way more in their favor, but they had nothing going on their CT side.
Alex, just quickly, when you also think about the scoreline of 16-6, Vega Squadron, 2 of the rounds they won were 1vx situations. So those are not concise rounds by any means.
It was interesting as well. You guys were observing that there was at times, especially on the defensive side, the second half for Vega Squadron, they were taking these rather gambly positioning choices. As in
the cutout one with Crush.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, is that a flaw in their gameplay? Is that a game style? What is this? Because they are assuming that the T side are not coming from a particular part of the map. There's no info there.
That was insane. Obviously, they had to take a risk, right? They had to gamble because they were down in a number disadvantage. But if you're going to put yourself in a position, normally you want to put yourself in a position where you only have to worry about one angle.
Sure.
He was sitting there only looking towards Sandwich. Someone could have walked out Ivy at any point in time and killed him, and he only had an MP7. So that's not a position where you can swing and take that duel. He's still able to get a kill from it, and NiP weren't even aware.
He could have potentially got a multi-frag, so everything worked out according to plan in Crush's mind, but it was a very gambly idea.
Calculated risk, perhaps.
Otherwise, a bad map of CS, really.
Yeah.
If you want to be honest.
It wasn't dreamy. Hopefully our final map in this series is going to be a little more exciting, exhilarating, because at the moment, one-sided affair.
Alex, you know I'm a man of justice.
You want to do it now?
You know I believe in truth.
Okay.
And I want to clear his name.
Do it, because there is a little bit of chatter surrounding Chopper on the first map of this series, and we actually dived into the demo. I say we. Chad actually had a little scrub through. So what can you show us then? 2
places you need to look at. Just look at Chopper down here. His name, keep your attention on that the entire time, and his name right here. That's all you need to look at. Now, the fact of the matter was, this is going to play out the round. He's already dead. NiP are going to win this one. Okay. Chopper is going to drop before the round ends. Now, as we all know, the bot is going to take his place. He hasn't rejoined the server. That is the bot, and the bot is, which is frustrating as anything. Like we know in matchmaking games, Alex, they love a good buy. So if you look down toward the bottom left of your screen, you can see the gun that's being purchased by the bot, not by Chopper. So when Chopper rejoins the server, that gun's been there. There's all the controversy around it. It wasn't Chopper that bought the gun. It was the bot that did it.
And his money investment's gone anyway, right? So if anything, he's been screwed by that.
Precisely.
Okay. Yes. It's certainly not on a competitive advantage.
Fantastic weapon that the bot hooked up with.
Yeah, it's a really good... That's the thing. Why are the bots buying the bad guns?
Right. That if Valve, they've been changing lots of things recently. One thing you could really quick patch fix.
Prioritize the good weapons.
Why are they not just buying an M4? Why the Nega?
Sorry, you mean an AUG.
You mean an AUG.
Excuse me. Why are they not just buying the... Well, it was in the T side, actually. Yeah.
AK-47.
Buy the SG, man.
There you go. Or an AUG.
Distinct lack of that, though. I'd be okay with an SG buy from the bots. But what I am more okay with is moving on from Train. You guys cool with that?
I'm cool with that.
Yeah, it wasn't the most fun. And as you know, we're here to analyze, apparently not too much to analyze. So we'll focus on our final map. I want to clarify, it is Mirage we're going to be seeing here, and a map that NiP have looked the most comfortable on so far. You can see the stats up on your screens. This was where I believe NiP started their journey here in Katowice versus Furia and struggled just narrowly to beat the Renegades. I remember that game. That was a exhilarating one, Sean.
Yeah, they looked actually really good in the Renegades game as well, even though Renegades stole that game from them. They had a couple... I thought they looked strong on their T side. They had good executes towards both sides, fast hits actually towards both sides, good mid control. Their CT side was a little bit lackluster in that one. The Furia game, they blew Furia out that game. I mean, Vega, on the other side, we have Vega, who's always been pretty decent on Mirage, if I'm being honest. They play the rotations quite well.
Yeah.
So this is actually a really good matchup. This is the one map I was excited about in the series.
One of the things I was quickly just trying to find is when I've seen NiP look really good on a map like Mirage, Lecro's been towards the top.
Yes.
He's been one of the fantastic players. In their loss to Renegades, he was towards the bottom of the stats line, but in their win against Furia, he was the second highest rated player in the server for his team. So he's a massive win condition. He's a bit like a thermometer for the team because he's finding the opening kills, then the rest of the guys could be able to have a lot easier time. He is the in-game leader. He was a fragger before, but he's still able to do it from time to time. And Mirage seems to be a map where more often than not he can find his footing.
Yeah, and he's still baffling to me. I know we haven't got all the time in the world, but Vega Squadron, I'm looking at their recent results. They, haven't played much. We talked about that already, or something like 43 games. Their opponent, they had 13 played in the last 3 months. That's maps. But their recent results, like you were telling me, Sean, they can't qualify to the league above, right? They were talking about they've been pursuing MDI for a while now.
Yeah, there's kind of a misconception when you look at Vega Squadron, right? People think that they just don't play outside of the majors. They try.
Yeah.
They actually try. They're in ESEA Advanced. They can't make it to MDL Online. They keep falling short every season. Their qualifiers, they can't really make it through. I mean, they lose to teams like Vitality and stuff like that in qualifiers. So they just can't do what they do at the majors.
This year,
I don't know why.
This year, just a month prior to this major happening, they lost 16-3 to a French team, 3D Max. 16-3 on this map.
Yeah. They're just not the same team online.
But I wouldn't be surprised if they put up a fight here versus NiP. These guys are this unfathomable puzzle for me to solve.
Here's the thing, right? The individuals in the server for this team are good.
Yes.
Right? Their approach to the game, not necessarily good, right? They do things like they'll just have a Hutchie go for jewels in apartments at B while Chopper's doing the same thing at A. There's no trade potential. They're just doing individual things. If the kills come in, you can snowball that. If they don't make the kills, they get shut out. The fact of the matter is, when Vega come to a tournament like this in best of one environment and they're able to, win both pistols, have a couple of key clutches, that's when they can win games and still and really impress us. But in best of threes, Alex, it's not looking so good.
Well, now there's only one map. This is essentially a best of one. We have had a perfect summary here from our ex-professional players giving us insight as to how Vega do it. They haven't been able to climb too far outside of Katowice, but now they're one away from sending NiP back home. We'll find out how this one plays out. It's none other than Moses and Vince to guide you through.
It all comes down to this. NiP, after a first map loss on Overpass, recover on Train. Rez was a big story coming into this, having a quiet event. In this series, in these two maps, he's 56 kills and 33 deaths with 95 ADR. That 56 kills is more than he's had in the 3 maps leading up to this best of 3. An impressive performance from him. Forrest is right there as well. And here we go. NiP starting on the T side of Mirage. And a massive stack towards this B bomb site. They're about to run headfirst into it.
They sure are, but at least we're going to see some aggression from NiP on the T side. It could prove to be costly, though, or perhaps not. Get Right and Dennis. 2 players you expect to see up there with the pistols doing work. JR, in the meanwhile, had a drop on Get Right, but really whiffed out on his chance. Spinning across to Dennis, does drill him with 1 bullet, then gets Get Right, but it's all on JR. He's going to have to go 2 better, and that's 2 more than he can handle. NiP do pick up first blood here on the deciding map of Mirage.
That is a very efficient take of the B bomb site. I was worried. Vega had 3 players there, a 4th that was going to be quick on the rotation, quick on his support, and NiP once again just bullied their way into that B bomb site. Another good start for them in this map. Nice job crossing the T's, dotting the I's by Get Right, checking all the corners. 1-0.
Investment from Vega Squadron. Double scouts in play with Desert Eagles and a CZ. One tap potential is real, but they will be sent reeling if they concede this round.
Yeah, well, not just the 1 tap potential, but just a tag with the scout and a deagle cleanup is, or the other way around, can be a very simple thing. Crush going to get aggressive. He's got to be careful with his position. If they turn the corner, he's got the tag. He jumps out of the window. He does get away quickly, but now they're scrambling. They don't. Oh my God! Straight from beneath him, Hutchie gets the headshot on Get Right. Didn't even know he was exposed, but he's getting a new position. He's got a Mac 10 as well. He's found his 2nd kill. Dennis shuts him down, but it's bought so much time.
And so much damage to NiP as well. Nobody is healthy on this side. This is where the scouts, the CZ, the Deagle can really come into prominence and shut down Dennis in particular. He's the first one to fall. Bomb still stuck on the valley. Can't get out of here for the time being. He knows the CZ's around and Chopper is going to take his head clean off. Forrest in a 1-on-3 to try and save the ninjas early on Mirage. A round that should be theirs. It's just going to fall short. 3 players stacked around him. does have the bomb, but everything else is in the Vega Squadron side of the court. Gonna smoke off so he can at least relocate to the top of Van if he chooses with a flashbang. But he's just flashed himself. He's trying to escape, but it's not gonna happen. Vega, they've actually pulled it off.
They really have, and it's all that first kill from Hutchie. If GetRight's able to establish his foothold and get down there with that MAC-10, it will chew them alive. What an important kill. That is a stunning shot from beneath. Here we go. That, like, dodged his legs, his hips, his chest, and went straight to the head.
It was a really cool stack as well. They had the scout in there with him alongside. They both jumped out. He threw a Molotov in midair as he's jumping out the window.
Yeah.
So the player that's just behind him has to rush out the window after him. So it's a preemptive shot at the top while flashbanged. Here comes Crush having no mercy. And the Ninjas, who did invest some money into the round,
They invested everything.
find themselves just 3 players left.
Yeah, nice flashbang and great aggression with that AUG. A lot of confidence. Crush at about half HP. Feels like the gloves are off on this map, Vince. We've had a couple slow starts to overpass and train, methodical and tentative in this elimination series. But here on Mirage, everyone is backs against the wall. GetRight with this scout, going to try and make something happen, but Vega's not giving them any opportunities. They're all playing pretty passive except for that one player connector who's now tagged up. Just under a minute remaining in the round.
I think he may have been tagged partially through the wall. Down to 52 from a scout shot. That's probably as good as it's going to get for the Ninjas in round 3. Because now Vega have fully gone into their shell. Huge advantage in terms of firepower, manpower, everything you could really ask for at this stage. 30 seconds, so time itself is an enemy on the side of the Swedes, and to make matters worse, Hudgy has found Rez and just dealt with him. No problems at all. It's going to be the same story, more than likely for Dennis and GetRight here as they push out. Bomb sprawls out, and as do the rest of NiP. Vega Squadron will take the lead.
Really nice job by Vega after that initial aggression, just backing off and making sure that NiP bleeds players every step of the way, trying to turn that corner on Catwalk. This should be a much easier round for Vega. Can't imagine NiP investing a whole lot, not even to Deagles, not even into P250s. They need every dollar they can get.
Not even a flash for a waterfall out of Apps or Palace. Just full on Glocks.
That's a huge turnaround. I mean, if you just look at Vega's weaponry, 2 AK-47s that they were able to pick up in that second round, they haven't had to spend a whole lot of money. Not losing anyone in the previous round either. Pretty good start, all things considered, especially losing the pistol.
Absolutely a fantastic turnaround in the map that really counts. Elimination beckons for NiP or Vega. Feared the worst for Vega after that start. It may be slow, but the death will be quick for NiP. There's no doubting that once they get out. No Kevlar, they're going to get shredded from both Hutchie and Crush that are laid in wait just outside the apps.
Oh, no way.
Rez is making a move, though. May actually
Don't even
get
kill him.
JR.
Don't, no. Don't even kill him.
Yoink.
He's going to do it. Why not just flank this B bomb site, because access is closed here. Regardless, the knife kill is lovely for the cash, and he follows it up with a scout. Okay, I take it all back. Rez knows what he's doing. Into the B-bomb, so we go. Great shot from GetRight with the Glock, and now they're in. This is going to be tough, but still strong, powerful weaponry. There's one over towards GetRight corner, and he's got him, and the AUG is going to do work as well. Tony Black, 1-on-2 situation.
Oh, and he's whiffed his nade. It goes from bad to worse, and there's Lecro piercing the head with the AUG. Unbelievable, 5 Glocks.
Holy. Yeah. NiP can't even believe that one. What a huge round for Rez with the knife. They get all the weapons back. This is massive. The reason I was saying don't kill him He could have flanked all the way around to the B bomb site, walked the whole way there, and been able to backstab and distract while the pinch came in, but that worked better.
I think it's going to be some question marks for Vega Squadron as well, why no one was watching Connector or Jungle.
I don't think they thought anyone would have the balls to just walk up like that, but remember, JR was jumping in the window room, so Rez had all the information. JR didn't care who knew he was there or what he was doing. But yeah, certainly no one for like 30 seconds of that round even looking in that direction is a bit curious. The AWP is going to be able to get a pick though. Rez has been put down. Double AWP and a shotgun on Chopper. Not a lot of utility, but between the two AWPs and the two AUGs, I mean, they can take just heads-up fights at range.
Then they have the likes of the shotgun. If it gets up close and personal, smoke into window. Gonna starve Chopper of any sight, trying to see if there's a small gap in the smoke, but there isn't. So he will relocate. Tony Black steps up into window instead. In the meanwhile, Ninja's starting to make their own moves in Connector. Meanwhile, the Bob heading onto ramp, but here comes Chopper with his XM, able to get one, not two. Player advantage still maintained for Vega Squadron, however. But we're looking to extinguish this push. The flashbang is pixel perfect, and Get Right will reap the rewards. JR is victim on this occasion. Get Right and Dennis going to be able to try and force this bomb down. That's a ballsy plant. May get taken out just before he can plant the bomb. That was a matter of milliseconds. The Vega Squadron just about hang on.
Not a whole lot of good decisions that you could have made in that scenario. Yeah, you can plant safe for CT spawn, but you don't have anything to block it off. You're relying on Forest to cover you. Goes for a riskier plant, but easier to defend afterwards. These teams going blow for blow now. Neither team is letting the other one get any kind of build any kind of momentum. Important to note as well, I mentioned the amount of money that Vega had. Again, it goes back to that second round that they're able to win and bring essentially 3 free weapons forward. Allows them to get the double op setup even after they lose. Second round haunting NiP still. They buy up in this one. P250 on Forrest, sees that on Dennis. AK on Lekro and Get Right. And this is going to be a 4-man hit towards this A bomb site. They're already lined up for it. Only one defender here. He's playing behind ticket booth, so if they do this properly, they should be able to get a plant. And they might even have enough utility for the post plant. Dennis is going to try and assassinate someone on the flank and connector.
Chopper's making a move around the back though, so if Tony Black can stall this for long enough, Chopper will get into play. I'm not sure if that's going to happen because the bomb is already sprinting right to the site to get the plant in. And Chopper only has an MP9, so once he gets up to ramp, if no one's close, he's going to struggle to kill people.
He's going Palace. That's Rez, who needs to read the play. This is going to be difficult. Dennis is going to find no one in mid, which is tough. He's got a P250, not a great weapon. Rez is reading and watching his flank. There's the peek from Chopper. Great win from Rez. And now it's all going in the way. Get Right with 2 kills with that AK. There's a smoke for the bomb, and that's last-ditch effort, and it's not even going to get there. Get Right with 4 kills, putting his mark on this map.
Yeah, the problem there is Chopper really needed someone from his team to maybe claim a kill, started to push onto the site, keep them caught in 2 mines for that flank to be fully effective. But credit to Rez reading the situation perfectly. And NiP will strike again. This financial roller coaster, Moses, continues to go up and down.
It's a seesaw. No one can establish anything. No one can get comfortable. And even now, Vega put on the back foot. This time they're not investing. This time they're not getting the scouts and the deagles. So should be an easier time for NiP, and I think they know it. They're just going to march straight to A ramp, and you would imagine this would be a contact play to go out with that smoke and be up that ramp before Vega even realized. Oh, what?
What? That was mid-air as well. At least one of them was mid-air. What the hell is going on, Rez?
I love everything about this. You're a beast! 4-3. And that's an ace for Rez.
114 ADR, ace to boot, 8-1 and 5. That's just disgusting.
What are you supposed to do about that? And I mean, you add in that with the knife, pick up the scout and convert 4 kills in that round as well. This guy has had 2 incredible rounds early on in this game.
And that puts Vega into a half bite. never really got a stranglehold over their economy. Even when they had orcs, didn't have much else. That's a trade that Rez should be winning.
Especially considering everything he's done already in this game. Well, get right, gets it right back. They need to get this AK out of Crush's hands, and Dennis is going to do it. This is one of those rounds, Vega. Nothing to lose since you're going to buy in the next one and you've invested in pistols. Everyone getting aggressive and just trying to make a play that NiP's not expecting. Lecro needs to be careful. He has the bomb. If he goes into that palace alone, as he drops it, so still.
I mean, still, if he goes into here alone and gets killed, it will be a weapon dropped that Tony Black can get his hands on. Now an AK-47, and Tony Black has Kevlar. This is where things start to get a bit sketchy. Fortunately, though, they've taken down Hutchie, so no one is close to B site. And NiP can just sprint right across there and get this bomb securely planted.
Yeah, they don't know it's clear yet, though, but still, yeah, they're just going to get in. They have the power of the weaponry. Force is going to stay up in these halls with the AWP and help cover. They could still be in this bomb site, so NiP has to be very careful to clear all these corners. Question is, yeah, Tony Black just saving that AK-47, so they're not going to go for this. I think they want to find another AK. That was in underpass towards halls, so Chopper would have to fight for it if that's the play he wanted to make.
Completely understandable to save the AK. They don't have any nades or kits. And at such a early, young stage of Mirage with so much on the line, you definitely don't want to throw away any little advantages that you can take home for yourself.
No, not at all. NiP going to have a 5-3 lead moving forward into the 9th round. Rez has got them back in this game in a big way. 3 straight now for NiP, 4 of the last 5. And we had that economic battle, that economic seesaw back and forth. No longer. NiP has built up a ton of cash. Rez has 10,000. He'll be buying with that thanks to the ace. I think he got 4 kills with the UMP in that round. Dennis has 7,600. Forrest at 8,000. Get right at 7,300. So plenty of cash lying behind this NiP purchase.
And good news for Swedes out there. Get Right is having a solid map. 9-4 with 112 ADR. 3-player, pardon me, stack with a bomb next to them for the Ninjas. Tony Black is pretty close. We've already seen him play aggressively a couple times through Palace and also Ramp. He's going to be hearing all of these grenades being pulled. He knows he's about to get pushed, and Get Right, the first player in, is the first to fall. But Tony Black cannot get a second. The trade's gone very well for NiP.
This was nice from Crush. NiP wanted the boost in the window. Oh my god, they forced them both forward. The Flames, they don't expect that peek though. It worked so good, they weren't even ready. All 3 players in mid for Vega. It's Forrest and Lecro to try and pull this round back. Do they have it in them? Do they have another miraculous round to pull out a 2-on-3? Half HP for Forrest and Lecro.
They've done enough to stave off the initial charge, so Vega Squadron are going to concede the bomb plant. But at this stage, they're going to have to envelop the site. Forrest acting as the blockade once more. The health isn't great for Ninjas, but neither is it for Vega Squadron, and JR is going to come in with his AWP. Lecro needs to pull out a masterful play. There's the first Crush. Now on the other side of the smoke, he's going to be making a move, and Lecro decides to try and push through it. He's playing with the minds of Vega Squadron at this stage, and the bomb has just been tickled. It's going to draw Lecro out into the open, and there is Crush from the side, but I don't think he has enough time. He doesn't have a kit, and he has to back away. Ninjas and Pajamas will take the round and a 6-3 lead.
What a masterclass from Lecro. Doesn't see that second player, sneaks into the smoke. Vega actually had 3 smokes coming into that retake in a 3-on-2. They could have blocked off ramp. They could have tossed one early, but the early pick from the AWP by Forrest kind of neutralizes that, and Lecro with an outstanding play around the edge of the smoke. This was great. Just finds one, the gap between the 2 of them, and then when he doesn't see the follow-up, he's not going to let Crush be the aggressor in that situation and just neutralize it by hiding himself like an actual ninja into the smoke.
Leg shot onto Tony Black. He's going to think twice about re-peeking, but JR has returned the favor and gone a bit further. Get Right's life in round 10 comes to a close. He's going to be on the bench for the next minute and a half.
I think they might be a little bit surprised that Vega still has ops. Maybe one, just because survival in the last round could have gone back, and we didn't see if he went back and picked up an AWP. Good shot from JR. 3 members of NiP going to work their way in mid. There is a player in the ladder room. Tony Black, all the confidence in the world on top of this ticket booth.
Tony Black has seen 2 players cross. That's information that Crush now has. And no one's sticking around the ladder room. This is the moment for Crush to shine. He can come in here and clean up what remains of the terrorists, and he'll do just that. Double kill, Rez and Forest, alongside Lecro, have all been bested, and Vega win their first round in 4.
They keep both the ops in their hands as well. 3 players survive. They can drop some weapons over. They're still not going to be comfortable, but that's a starting point. 9 kills for Rez and Get Right. Lead the way for NiP, and 9 kills for Hutchie and Crush lead the way for Vega Squadron, now with 4 rounds to the 6 of NiP.
NiP have chunked through a lot of their savings. A few players still pretty healthy.
Oh, this is so sick. Mid control, so fast. Forrest all alone. He's going to get a catwalk. They're not going to expect this whatsoever. He doesn't even need to necessarily go up cat. He's got a perfect position, and the question is, when JR rotates over towards window room, over towards jungle, is he going to be expecting Forrest to be holding this angle? Forrest can peek this direction at any point. We'll see if JR actually clears it, and he does.
We saw an unbelievably slow overpass and train T-half. Nothing slow about this from NiP.
This is not the time for cautious play. You need to take some risks.
Apart from Forrest, though.
No, but this is very old school for Mirage. You get a player set up, and you didn't even have to do mid-control. Remember, he just basically rushed catwalk, but you get him set up in the window room, in the ladder room. You fall back, and you can either hit A or B, and you have him in perfect position to gather information, assassinate a rotation. And towards A we go. The problem is going to be, where's the location of Chopper? I think he's either underneath or above
Shadow.
Palace. Underneath, yep.
Yep.
So we'll have to clear this out. That could be the one player who keeps distance between NiP and the AWP of Tony Black.
Distinct lack of utility, though, for Vega Squadron. Just 1 Molotov and 2 flashbangs. So if they concede this bomb plant, this is going to be rough. Tony Black, a lot of pressure on him to deliver. Just get something out of this. Give Chopper some help. He can't get it done, moves into position. That's the bomb dropped in sandwich. It's going to be hard to claim that, but Dennis, insta headshot onto Tony Black. That could be the kill that gets NiP this round. Solid Molotov, though, and time is so low that Dennis has to move out. He's still going to have enough time as long as he doesn't get killed through the box, and it's great cover from the rest of Ninjas in Pajamas. It's all on JR. He's managed to take down Dennis, but it's now going to come down to Forrest. The bomb planted for connector or mid, and JR knows it. He's going to be moving in.
Forrest called his bluff.
Gonna just stick the sight straight up. Forrest needs to peek this or it's gonna get defused, and JR gets it done. Balls of steel.
Called his bluff once. The second time, it's not a fake. 5th round for Vega, but that's still pretty nice for NiP, all things considered. Even in a loss, they take all 5 weapons away. Again, they have Vega on the verge of a reset. And I think if Vega gets reset here, this would turn into a disaster of a half. NiP could be winning their T side 10-5. And then it's just, the odds are not with you if you're Vega after that. So he does end up getting the kill. He's able to salvage the AWP as well. Here we go. Molotov's in towards window. Oh, that's a quick shot from JR. He was expecting it. NiP has picked up the pace. Vega's going to start feeling that and reading it, and they're dominating. This is exactly what they needed to stay in this game.
3 kills in as many seconds, but Ninjas in Pajamas are battling back. There's Chopper with a secondary AWP. Chips into the head of Dennis. Lecro has plenty of time here. He doesn't need to rush. He can play this patiently. The only downside is there's 2 players on CT boxes. And while his back is turned and he's making noise, he is going to get pushed. And JL gets him as he tries to fight back. 6-6.
Absolutely needed that one. NiP, I think they finally run out of funds. So Vega can plant their feet, build up some cash. They have the double up setup. That's been great for them. three in a row now for Vega since they've had that double op. Dennis probably never thinking, you know, in this world that Chopper would come through that smoke in that scenario. But it's all tied up. Half buy from NiP as the losing bonus builds up.
Here's a stat. Vega Squadron have the worst trade kill percentage, just 14.2% of the entire event.
That doesn't surprise me at all, the way we've seen them play. The individual pushes, the plays through smokes, the aggression that they have, those are not easy situations to trade in. Should be fine here, though. Clutchy and Crush with a headshot, just holding down the trigger and coming through all the smokes. NiP can't see a thing.
Out of bullets, out of life, Vega Squadron regain the lead for the first time since round 5. And of course, we had the blitz of 4 rounds in a row to the Swedes, who do have enough money to buy again. Will be without NiP, but plenty of AK-47s. And a bunch of smokes as well, so the set play isn't an issue.
1-3-3-7 for Crush. 13 kills, 3 assists, 7 deaths. Lekro's gonna take top mid. A very noticeable lack of nades for NiP in this round, which is a nightmare when you're going against double op setup. Tony Black and JR should be able to be very effective. You know, it's kind of crazy, Vince. Rez has 9 kills. He had that as, ooh, 4 saw the barrel but can't convert the kill. He had that ace with the UMP, and he had that 4-round kill where he knifed the player in window room. Those are his only kills of the game.
That is a very good point. Seems like when it rains, it pours for him.
I mean, if you're going to have 9 kills, the impact those 2 rounds provided are the ones to get it on, but certainly Quiet and all the other ones is tough. Crush in ladder room. It's a 4-on-2. Dennis hasn't looked behind him. Hasn't cleared this. Could spell his death in just a moment. Here it comes.
And the bomb. Horrible spot. Molotov gonna force Rez in. Even if he picked up that kill, probably would have burnt alive anyway. And Vega have opened up a 2-round lead. That's the first time in this game they've actually been 2 rounds in the lead against NiP. It's been neck and neck up until that stage.
Yeah, it's been a 5-round win streak for Vega. NiP would love to get to 7. They do have the money for it. For a buy here, AKs. Galil on Get Right. Again, it's going to be missing some nades. By that, I mean it's missing a lot of nades. They have 2 smokes. That's it. The only thing you can really do, smoke off stairs, smoke off jungle and connector, and let's roll. And that's going to be an easy lineup. There's the op ringing out. There's nothing to block off Tony Black as well. Not even a flashbang to give you a half-second jump.
I'm a bit sad we didn't hear the good old rat-a-tat-tat of the auto sniper that Tony Black has. Feels bad, man.
I didn't even notice that. I'm kind of happy we didn't get to hear it. Chopper's gonna end things, so in a half that had a lot of magic out of the ninjas, they end with 3-round deficits. We're gonna go to a break. When we come back, we find out who moves on to the legend stage of the major and who goes home. One last half of Counter-Strike to decide the fate between these two teams. Decide their fate here at IEM Katowice. Which team moves on, which one goes home. Vega Squadron with a narrow lead, 9-6, but they have been atrocious in pistol rounds at this event.
Only 2 the entire event. They won 1 in the previous map. And since then, it's been rough sailing. But here we go. Ninjas will have a kit and a smoke as ever in the hands of Get Right, but already Vega are making a move through Connector. NiP are playing for a retake. If they can get a kill beforehand, all the better for it. Hutchie playing with his life a little bit there, overextending, but the bomb now been planted. Very clumped up on the CT side, though. The Ninjas in pajamas. Dennis comes out, and he's the first of 4, proving the pistol god is mortal after all. Rez right back, though, in with 1. But Vega Squadron are maintaining the player advantage, and they also have the verticality of Chopper up in Palace. That is going to be a nightmare, a nuisance for the Ninjas to contend with. And Forrest Trey, as he may, just cannot get it done alongside Get Right, and Vega Squadron are going to pick up the second pistol, and that's a massive lifeline taken away from the Swedes.
That really is. That was an interesting way to take that bomb site. 2 players coming up Connector in that fashion. Works the same way. That smoke down coming right through it. 10-6 for Vega now. And an investment from NiP. We have seen neither of these teams is giving each other an inch to work with. Whenever possible, they are trying to fight for these rounds. Scout on Get Right, 3 Deagles, and a UMP on Rez.
Get Right is going to peek ramp with the Scout, see if he can claim someone's head. But he has been smoked out. It's a full-on set play for Vega. They're not messing about. They're getting straight in there with all the SMGs.
Ooh.
Get Right did tag Crush, I believe, there through the smoke. He's down to 36. Chopper on 2. Tony Black's also had a bit of chip damage, but the bomb has been planted.
I mean, this is very doable, but unfortunately, NiP obviously cannot know. That's a great shot from Get Right. Tony Black's close up. Another nade kill. Now they're wiping him out. All that damage dealt early in these rounds. Crush is the last piece of danger, and he's only able to get 1. He needed 2. And now JR inside the bomb site. He runs out of bullets, and NiP is going to do it again. It's going to be a 7th round as they return the favor.
Bit of magic pulling the round out of the hat from NiP. And what a time to turn it around as well. Vega were on the path. They were on the fast track to the finish line.
I can't believe they've done it again.
Unbelievable.
Over and over. Both of these teams actually have been really, really good at stealing rounds away when they're on these second round buys or these half buys in the middle of the halves. Great trading from NiP to get back into this site. This was a spot of danger. If he was able to get this kill, Forrest was still far away from death at 68 HP. But with that plant, Vega is going to have a strong buy. And if NiP get lured into an aggressive peek, I mean, you have to know at this point that they're going to fight for this round. The question is, are you going to expect them to have Glils and AKs? JR is going to go down. That was the AK-47. I mean, you mentioned their trade stat. Worst trade percentage of any team at this event at 14.2%. JR, they're just swinging wide at top mid and taking a fight on his own.
Exactly. Hard to avenge if no one else is around you. Smoke deployed into the apps just to stall off the push that Vega were looking for. Bomb still dropped out towards the T side of the apps. Very split up are Vega, though. They've got a player in Palace. 1 top mid. Player in Palace is now coming under some heavy duress, which is Crush. He's been smoked out. Hutchie residing in Underpass. May see action momentarily from Dennis and Rez. And he's taking damage too. Chopper, though, double spray as neither of them were looking at mid. They were so baited in by the presence of Underpass, and now the Ninjas, it's their turn to sweat. It's their turn to worry.
That is a crazy level of aggression in a man advantage. NiP trying to pull a fast one. 30 seconds left. These footsteps will be heard by Lecro on catwalk the whole way. Get Right needs to start rotating. There's a dink. Oh, there's a great headshot to follow it up, and Force will finish the other. NiP closing the gap.
Some alarm bells, you better believe, were ringing, though, when both players got killed in Connector.
Yes. Absolutely. It's interesting that Vega, I mean, with 30 seconds left, they had time to kind of walk a lot of that way. They really gave an early warning system over to Lecro and NiP to be ready for that. That was a big fight for Get Right to win. If he goes down there, the A bomb site is open, and likely Vega just circle back to A instead of going towards B. 10-8, a narrow lead for Vega, but this round they can't fight for, which has got to be heartbreaking. They've wanted to fight for everything. We've seen it back and forth. Just the one deagle on Chopper, which I guess sometimes is enough. And actually, only one player at the B-bomb site for the moment. But Forrest is going to rectify that situation immediately.
Yeah, playing on short catwalk side, so we can quickly rotate back to B. It would be great news for Vega, though, if they could spill out and just get a bomb plant. They're not really expecting anything from round 19 here. Get a couple of meat shields deployed for Chopper and see if he can rip some heads off with the Desert Eagle. That's pretty much it in terms of tactics. And down he will fall. At least it's retrievable. So Hudgy, the player just behind him, picks it up instead, tries his luck, and will get the drop onto Rez.
Yeah, catches Rez in a committed fight and is able to just duck underneath the bullets. Low HP though, so that deagle is only really useful if he gets the one taps. Can't take any kind of extended battle. Bombs still drop far back to the entrance to these B hulls. All that's really left is to peek and pray.
Tony Black at this stage hoping they've just stacked B. See if he can make the most of a mistake, but also gets the M4. So this could get a bit interesting, but only 12 seconds in which to utilize his newly found weapon.
He's been spotted. He knows it. Try and get that plant. No, he's going to go for a kill. Doesn't matter. Dennis comes from behind. 9-10 now.
But as a result of their patience, here come the AK-47s. Let's see if Vega can add another round to their isolated pistol round. Since then, it's been all ninjas, one-way traffic. The one bomb plant, but that's been it, really.
This has been such a tough series for NiP. Even Train, there were some obstacles at the start of their first half. Forrest gonna get aggressive. Oh, he's counter-flashed. He's got to back away. No one's peeking him, which is good. JR's not expecting that aggression, and Forrest gets the jump on him. Was able to get 15 bullets out before JR could respond, and then the Crush goes for a contact play. So does Hutchie. This map is falling apart, and it looks like Vega do not have an idea on this T side so far.
It really is, and you look at the two deaths, again, get picked off, there's no potential for avenging frags. No one else is there.
Tell you what, though, if they ever learn how to work as a team, they can be pretty dangerous. They've got some incredible individuals.
100% agreed on that. But right now, that teamwork is severely lacking. So Ninjas in Pajamas, player advantage. Crush is exceptionally low. Only one smoke to play with. They've got some mid-control, but it's really only half the battle to either of the sites, especially when you don't have a smoke to deal with connector. He's going to leave it open for the likes of Get Right to spam across, but he's going to come out ahead, well, behind, I should say, in this trade, losing 81 of his health.
Again, Tony Black alone, just working up catwalk. Fleck whoever swings wide on this position. It's going to be tough to stop. The smoke is going to give it the game. It's over towards market window. Lecro's getting wrapped upon. He doesn't realize it. There's the giveaway, but no one is watching for that cross. The smoke was perfect. Dennis has to hide for the moment, wait for his team to come, but he can't live long enough. Vega, a big advantage to get their 11th round. And Rez is going to have to do all the work because Get Right is low.
Rez's number has been called up, though. Chopper had the drop on him. Heard him from a mile away, and Get Right has to save. So Vega, they lose the two opening picks. Zero teamwork, but purely off the back of Tony Black's entries, they end up winning the round.
Again, much like Train, another situation where NiP, that setup was fine in terms of keeping players alive, but they didn't have any actual information. No one from Vega was spotted until was that, I think, Tony Black leading the way into the B bomb site, coming up catwalk. He wasn't even spotted until he gets to the bomb site and he's able to pick off Lecro. He was all the way next to market window. That's too much ground to be able to give over to your opponents. Vega just narrowly keeping this lead in their favor. Plenty of money still for NiP to buy, but they're going to be out of it after this. Neither team has called a timeout yet.
This is NiP using all of their savings. As you say, they'll have nothing left in the bank after this one. Dennis going to pick up the AWP. He's had a bit of a rough game, 8 and 16 with 64 ADR.
What a sore spot it would be for NiP if Vega is once again to eliminate them from the major qualifier, the new challenger stage.
Would be an unbelievable storyline. Especially when you consider that Vega Squadron, well, many people wrote them off after they got battered off Vitality 16-1.
Yeah.
They looked shocking in that game.
I think the big thing about it is when you have players such as GetRight and Forrest that have won pretty much everything you can in not only CSGO, but Counter-Strike in general. That loss in Atlanta to Vega Squadron was really kind of the capstone of their downfall from being one of the top teams to now people questioning their ability to continue and be effective as players.
Well, really, since then, their experiences with the Major have been just heartbreak after heartbreak.
Except for the one that they won. Rez has no idea they're behind him. No one's watching this whatsoever. This is a very weird push from Rez.
And with his death, Vega Squadron now starting to position for an execute. Solid shot by Dennis. Tony Black gets an important trade. This now gives jungle presence across to Vega Squadron, but Forrest is going to thin the herd somewhat. We're tied up at 3 apiece in terms of manpower. Now the bomb is going to get picked up and moved towards the A site. There's no way of NiP to stop this, but Forrest just dips out and claims himself a kill. This retake now is way more possible, and it's been made that much better by Forrest claiming on Tony Black. Crush, last player left. Identical position to where Lecro clutched when the roles were reversed. But he doesn't have a smoke to play around with, and this time it's a 1v3. He's given his position away, and surely it's only a matter of time before he is found, and Dennis will be the man to put the final nail in the coffin.
What a great round from Forrest. Some very precise shots coming through. That second kill he gets in dark underneath the balcony, I don't think they expected him to push through the murder hole. Not only was there a player in jungle at one point, but the Molotov was there as well. They probably figured he rotated around. He's able to catch one with his pants down. 15 kills for Forrest, 13 deaths. He leads the way for NiP, but they're very close in score to each other. This one right here, Chopper had no idea. The plant helps, but it's a bit rough on the money for Vega to lose that round, hence why they call a timeout. I think they want to discuss exactly how they want to approach this. Crush, you can see, has 6,100. But everyone else really has nothing to play with. So a half buy comes in. Or actually, JR, that's a bit more than that.
That's a straight-up investment from both JR and Hutchie, and it's not as if they've got full round loss bonus either.
They're buying up into it, everything they can. I think Crush dropped a Galil over to Tony Black. AK on Crush. No, Tony Black just bought that heads up. All right, here we go. Big, big investment for Vega Squadron. This would be the tying round for NiP. Hutchie causing the smallest of distractions towards the B bomb site. Waterfall with AKs.
A waterfall of sharks. It's definitely not something I'd want to have to deal with. But the Ninjas in prime position to go fishing. Rez has got himself the first, could be getting a second. But his tag team partner on the site's dead. To get 3 kills from there by Rez is massive for the Ninjas in Pajamas. But it's still a 2-on-2 in anybody's round.
I don't know if you'd say Vega has an advantage here, but they certainly kind of have control of the map. NiP, they have to make a decision if they want to split, how exactly they want to play this. There's not a whole lot of ways they can get information of where Vega's coming. At the moment, they're just gambling that Vega's not going to circle back towards the A bomb site. The vent's not even broken open. Doesn't want to make that noise at this stage. And NiP is going to split, so Vega have a 2-on-1 at the B bomb site. Forrest is playing so passively in A that at least he'll have time to wait for Lecro to rotate. Up catwalk we go. Hutchie only with the deagle, so you imagine JR leading the way, and Lecro has gotten into a great position, and he's not going to peek it. His gun is out. They're going to check this, though. There's the shot. They look away at the last moment, and Lecro calms it down.
one of the contributing factors there at the end is time was so low. They couldn't really afford to check every single angle they wanted to. I think they had 13 seconds left. And Ro4 could have been on one of, what, 5 or 6 positions on
Yeah,
B.
so many. Especially if they get past that corner, right? And they go to the B bomb site. There's just so many angles. You were right. This is a godlike performance from Rez.
If he only gets 2 kills in that situation, the A site is lost. That's how influential Rez's 3 kills were. And again, he seems to be like this spree killer. He doesn't do anything for 3 or 4 rounds. He comes in and just impact, influence. Get right, aggressive with the MP9. Oh, that nade though.
Dear God. Gotta like that one. Softens up a couple players and he's still aggressive. Get right. Can taste the legend stage.
Goes back in for seconds. Weakened them.
Starting to see that characteristic like railgun aim from Forrest starting to develop in this map. We saw it on that retake earlier. He makes it look so easy.
If they go for a boost, it will be into their death, almost certainly, but they're going to decide against that decision. Last player's below window. Crush going to show his hand. The bullets whiz past Forrest's head, and NiP take the lead again, 12-11.
6-2 in this second half. They have been pretty dominant. Forrest leading the way with 18, whereas in Ro4 at 16. Crush leads the whole server with 19 kills. And here come the AKs again. Another buy for Vega. They need to figure something out. They need to do it quick. Up in the hands of Dennis. That flashbang just catches him. Looked like he might have had a freebie.
I was a little bit surprised we didn't see a timeout. They still have 3 of them at their disposal, and they don't have a huge amount of rounds left. Such an integral, important part after losing 3 rounds in a row. Maybe just completely focused on the task at hand. That being said, though, going to be a pop flash into a peak, but no one's home. Chopper has spotted Ro4, who keeps darting across for information.
NiP's used a lot of their nades, though, very quickly in this round. That might be... Oh, get right. Committed to that fight, didn't really want to. It might be because the nature of how Vega is playing this, how individual it is with just some dry contact peaks. NiP's a little bit nervous. This could decide the round, this play right here. Here's the boost as well.
Yeah, you heard the thud of footsteps as it whiffed the first time the barrel of the gun. Betrays Chopper. And with the kill, the Ninjas take the lead in terms of men on the server. Hudgy and JR are going to have to try and tag team together to get an entry through on the staircase side. They're going to get one. And Forrest counteracts instantly. 25 seconds now. They don't have control over CT. And Ro4 is going to be a real pain in the ass because they don't have a smoke to deal with him. They're going to have to go for this plant and try and cover from the peak, and it's not going to happen. Yes, Ro4 gets traded, but that's a huge kill he's just picked up for his team. And now Hutchie's going to go for this plant. He can get spammed through those boxes, but Dennis is going to take the initiative and push. Not required because Forrest is there to clean up.
Really nicely handled from NiP. That peek towards connector. Really liked the idea from Vega Squadron, but that firing squad was set up. They had 2 players in connector. Forrest was back on catwalk, and there's just too many options to aim at. That is a tough battle. Not a lot of utility down the stretch as well to be able to handle it. Dennis, that is... I mentioned the round could be decided there. He heard the boost, and then he gets the follow-up kill. The first kill goes to Rez, who is watching for the boost after he calls it out. So really nice information gathered by Dennis in that round. 13-11. Now Vega's starting to really feel it. This is a full investment, essentially. No rifles, but pistols, nades. Hutchie is down low. He's the only one there. The rest of his teammates stop by a Molotov. And if Hutchie can't create something, he can't even find his way out of the window.
Flashes and smokes enough to choke on, but still comes out swinging and claims the kill onto Forrest. Ro4, the last line of defense with Dennis. They're going to have to be a bastion, a wall put around this B site. Dennis spray not quite on point, but finally going to get that kill. But Vega are keeping the player advantage. Bomb's now been dropped from Rez, who'd made a move through the B app side. And he's going to have to work with Get Right to try and clutch this one up. But here comes The rotation from JR, he's flanking around the backside of Get Right, who's taking damage. He's down to a measly 21 health, and Tony Black finishes off Mirage Vega Squadron. They are going to take it with just pistols and knock the ninjas back down a step or two. That's going to kill their economy.
I have no idea how Vega Squadron won that. You replay that round 100 times, and they probably only win it that once. That is insanity. I cannot believe NiP drops the ball in that sense. All the rifles in the world and just couldn't land any of the shots. And it seemed like they almost were just so excited that it was a round against just pistols. They were all a little too chasey with those kills.
Now, you think of how that round started with Hudgy being destroyed off Molotovs and nades.
And then not being able to get out of the window.
That's unbelievable.
Obviously, the JR flank is the big one. Even he fluffed a kill when he initially came there, and they're able to recover it nicely. That bench position is just so strong. That throws a spanner in the works. This map is now up in the air again. There's no money behind NiP. If they lose this, it's tied at 13-13, and they have to save. It's so much rides on this round, Vince.
Again, elimination is beckoning, and Dennis is going to get the first kill.
I mean, that's a play that can't be done in such a crucial round. Just a flashbang and a rush up the ramp.
By himself again. No one's even close.
Yeah, the nice thing is Crush has a huge jump on this catwalk play, and Force isn't looking for it. Oh, yes, he is. I take it all back once again, and there's Electro with the other off. NiP makes short work of this round, a dangerous situation.
This round is as good as over. Have a look at Get Right's position. He's flanking around the backside. They're going to have Rez up close. They're not going to be able to escape from this. They've got plenty of time, Vega Squadron. But again, Get Right is patient. He has been here so many times before.
We mentioned it on Train. Get Right just plays by the book, right? There's no reason for him to flank. He has 4 players at B. His only job is to make sure they can't fall back. If they kill him, if he pushes and they kill him on the flank, they have an avenue to get to the A bomb site, and everyone is scrambling to get back in time. Still, overwhelming favorites would be NiP in the round, but it could turn into a really deadly situation. So, Get Right's doing this smart. And I don't know, it feels like Vega's trying to save.
That may very well be the case when you consider Chopper's got $50, Hudgy 200, Crush 250.
Yeah, JR could drop an AK. Tony Black could drop a Galil. But NiP, the tough part for NiP is they don't have a lot of money either. You don't want to chase too much. Rez, not able to find that kill, but he spots both of them. That gives the information over to NiP. Now they can if they want. I think Get Right's going to wait till the timer is done.
Now push. Oh, uncharacteristically misses out on that chance. That should have been a kill. Does get it finally. And that's going to be no money going across.
That's a really good play from Get Right, that whole round. NiP grabbed the lead and a massive advantage, 14-12. Vega has very little money to play with. They do have an AWP on JR.
Maybe going to slow the round down a little bit, but again, it starts off with Chopper chasing out ramp by himself, dying, giving the advantage to Ninjas in Pajamas. They only have 2 smokes here, Vega Squadron. Again, potentially smoke onto jungle side, the staircase. Try and all-out rush onto the A side. Maybe JR can get this pick. Oh, you need to be so careful right now. Get Right, if you jump one more time, you're probably going to get destroyed, but there's Rez on the stairs. They actually push without using any of their grenades here, Vega Squadron.
It's actually kind of cool. They're using that AWP to just cover him the whole way. Not a lot of utility, so do what you can with what you have, and that AWP is providing cover for the pistols to get up close, but Get Right, he's outplayed him. Rez had that first kill, and then Get Right jumps into a perfect position. Molotov gonna come out, he's gonna find himself another. He's repositioned, they have no idea. Oh, great shots from Get Right. The legends for NiP are stepping up down the stretch, and that's exactly what you'd expect.
Get Right moves on to 79 ADR, 18 kills. Forest 22 kills with 82 ADR.
Vega's only won 3 rounds in this half, and they've never strung them together. They won the pistol round, they run round 20, and they just won the previous round, or that one with the pistols. So They've only won one round when they've had guns.
That'll do it.
What more can you say about that one? 15-12, it's got to be a 3-round run, a comeback for Vega to force overtime. They have no chance of eliminating NiP in regulation.
Heavy mid presence again from the Ninjas of Pajamas. Rez this time going to push in while Dennis peeking down into the underpass. As a result of sacrificing a bunch of the firepower, though, there is plenty of smokes. 5 in total for Vega Squadron. Didn't work out for them last time, but of course they did push out before the smoke started to deploy.
I mean, if you think about it, the rounds they've won, like 2 of them with the pistols, it's when they were grouped up and attacking a bomb site together. And we've seen them a number of times try and take individual fights, running up a ramp, a contact play, running out to B in a contact play, out of Palace in a contact play, and it hasn't really worked, so just line up to the smokes. It's all you've got left.
Well, here we go. Could be the final play of Vega Squadron's tournament. Incoming smokes, blotting out the sun. Get right, though, does have a perched position. Can just see over this towards the Palace, but he's being tagged up heavily, has to back away. They will concede the bomb plant, but they're fine with that. They have such a superior amount of weapons at their disposal, and Forrest is thinned out. Crush.
Almost like Get Right wanted to lure them into this peak. Oh, and Dennis actually drops the op over, and they couldn't get it out in time. That could be a massive blunder. Get Right, the only one left here, and he's down as well. Distracted by trying to swap guns and play the right play, but Forrest might correct it. A course correction, and Rez is here as well. He's got him trapped. The nade goes in. They have no idea. Chopper alive, and now he can delay. That's the round. Vega have done it. Somehow they've clawed themselves in, and they've kept the dream alive. They've kept their major hopes alive. NiP caught getting fancy.
Yeah, what a time to switch that is. Just as the pistols are pushing through CT boxes. And he nailed it. That was the moment. That was the moment where Vega took the round and made it theirs. And now having a quick look across to the Ninjas economy, they will be able to afford a buy, but after this, they're going to have nothing left.
That's why it's so crazy that just happened. NiP buys here, they're going to be out of money. And then all of a sudden, if Vega win this, they've been atrocious in gun rounds. 3 of the 4 rounds they've now won in this half have been with pistols. Vega just need to win 1 gun round, and all of a sudden you're at 14-15 and you're fighting for overtime in a game where NiP can't afford anything to battle with. No op in the hands of NiP in this round, which is probably a good thing. I mean, that trying to swap the op over is what got him destroyed.
Yeah, honestly, on the CT side, when you think of where the kills have came from, it's been through the AUGs and the M4s. The op really hasn't had that much impact. Then they're smoked out, but there'll be some flirtation over on the B side. Bit of damage chipped away to Dennis, but it's negligible at best. Tension in this game is palpable. Both teams on the brink of elimination. So much pressure, so much to play for.
That pressure is likely why you see some of these uncharacteristic mistakes coming out. Smoke to give Crush a little bit of space to work with, and a little bit of a one-way smoke. Get Right's got to be careful. Nade's going to come out. Going to chip Get Right down in great fashion. There's a delayed peek from Rez. Nice frag onto Hutchie, and they can kind of slink away from that aggression. Still spread across the map as Vega. Individual fights everywhere they would be. Forrest has been spotted, but he crouches beneath the crosshair and gets away. Dennis is up next. That shoulder's been spotted. Nade in his hand. Dennis somehow wins that fight. JR could never get the angle.
There's no smokes left for Vega, though. There's only 2 Molotovs, and here comes Rez. It's looking like it may be the beginning of the end. Tony Black has to clutch a 1v3 to keep the Vega dream alive. And he's caught between the CT's. Gonna get the first pick, spins across, gets the second, but there's Rez. And NiP will live to fight another day. Vega Squadron have been eliminated.
That had to be an exhausting, grueling series for NiP to take. Unfortunately, Vega's gonna be eliminated. NiP get their revenge a second time. They did it in London. Now they knocked Vega Squadron out. Payback from Atlanta a couple of years back. Forrest in this series was stellar. 26-16 in this final map. I believe he's going to end up with well over 70 kills in the series. He was great. Rez had his moments, but overall, NiP proved they were the better team, especially on Mirage. We've got the Des to talk us through it.
Vega Squadron and Major Dreams nipped in the bud. It is not going to be time for the CIS to flourish, certainly not in the form of the Sharks. And now, myself, Machine, and Sean Gers and Sponge are going to reflect upon the best of three. It really was a messy game, chaotic at times, and tough to analyze at that second map, Train. But now we have Mirage to dig our teeth into, Sean, and this one, 16-13 all the way.
Yeah, there were so many occasions in this map where I thought NiP could have just run away with things.
Yep.
There was early in that first half where I think NiP had a huge economic advantage. JR sticks the bomb in the one-on-one against Force, and then they rattle off 6 straight rounds. At that point in the game, I didn't think Vega was going to be able to even, surface. I thought it would just be a total blowout. And then that second half, we saw 2 pistol Force buys late in that game, which could have easily turned this game on its head.
That's the problem, right? They did those fantastic rounds. They were set pieces. That's what it was. It was an execute with pistols only, and they were able to make it work. But then when they had the gun rounds, they either went for Hail Mary plays where they're trying to take advantage of gaps and just push in and hope that nobody's watching their position, or not use their utility and just limp out and take duels. NiP were more than happy to take those fights. So when it was heads-up Counter-Strike, the Ninjas were happy. When it was executes, they really struggled.
But how do rounds like this Mirage pistol nonsense happen again and again? We'll have highlights, it will likely be in there. But NiP, they fell victim to the same kind of thing versus Tyloo. There's this kind of limited couple of pistols charging at B site, and Vega are hitting shots.
It felt like indecision for me in a lot of those situations. When those executes came in, they didn't know which duel they wanted to take. You have to quickly decide in that, where am I going to fight? And you can't be between 2 different positions, because as soon as you are, the pistols will swarm you and you won't have made any kills. It's better to get one and done as opposed to going for a play that's not going to work, or get caught between 2 players, get taken down, give up a rifle on the site, and from that point it becomes very difficult to get back into it.
Yeah, it's just an individual error on both of those rounds. I mean, like Chad said, the swarming of pistols happens so quick, so if you're not on your feet and make the correct decision the first time around, it's too late.
He had an exceptional last map as well, Forest. He was at top of the scoreboard alongside Rez, and both of those individuals actually, I mean, like, I was a little concerned when you see Rez make those a couple of uncharacteristic errors on overpass. I think credit to be given that they're stars and necessary performances coming out from them.
I think you'll be able to tell when we get the interview, and you could see from their reaction then after the game, they weren't overjoyed by that win by any means. The fact of the matter was they were pushed the full distance by Vega Squadron, a stark underdog in this regard, and I think they're going to be disappointed with the way they played.
Well, that's your theory. We'll actually hear it right now from Forrest. He's standing by with Frankie, and our analysts think this might just be more of a sweat off the brow moment. Let's see how they're feeling.
The analysts would be wrong, because Forrest here is absolutely cool as a cucumber. As a reporter, I'm slightly disappointed by the fact that you're just so chilled out, Forrest.
Yeah, well, I don't want to celebrate too early. I mean, we still have a game tomorrow. Of course, it feels good to beat them here. We did lose to them early. As people remember, we have lost to them. They sent us out of the major before, so felt good to beat them here, and we have a new target tomorrow, so we got to refocus.
I do need to ask you, though, Forrest, it felt like maybe you guys were a bit scared of making mistakes in that early game, and it maybe could have lost you everything. So what are you going to change for tomorrow's crucial match?
Yeah, that is indeed something we do talk about. You're correct. I think it's more that people need to start feeling more comfortable in the tournament itself. We haven't played for almost 2 months in a LAN environment, so we're definitely going to take a look at the match and see what we did and what we could improve on. But I think overall we did good, and I think they played incredible as well. So it's good to see us.
Well, Rez in particular, of course, he must be your MVP. Go and chill out and maybe do a bit of that yelling I saw Get Right doing on LAN, Patrick.
Yeah, I will leave that to Get Right, but Rez did play incredible.
Thank you so much. Let's head back to the desk.
So Forrest has a smile on his face and setting sights on tomorrow. Interesting note that Frankie's managed to dig out of the Swede there, that they do feel like they're still trying to warm up into the tournament.
Yeah, well, they get tomorrow. That's their last day of warm-up, right? You got to really show up with that tomorrow. But the fact is, we don't normally see interviews from Forrest, and you have to give props to this guy. He is the last legend of the 1.6 era to still perform at the top of the game time and time again. So props to him for 3 massive maps, because he just continues to surprise.
He certainly does, and I would love to continue to talk about this one, but we have got Vega Squadron eliminated. They're added to the list. Team Spirit, Greg Hound, and now Tara to Vega Squadron. We are going to go ahead and take a break. When we come back, I'm going to be taking a back seat, and Trace Sorrenthus will be steering this ship towards Counter-Strike lock-ins. We're waving goodbye to more teams. It's an elimination game. Fnatic are going to be taking on G2. It's all coming up after the break.